Well, hello. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in again. So, welcome to my channel. We are in lockdown. Like I said to you the other day, I'll give you a bit of information about my background. And today I'm going to be talking to a really good friend of mine. So, we're using Zoom, and she's going to be entering our screen in a minute. So my friend Nina is a yoga instructor. She is a hairdresser. She also has a business like me in the health and wellness industry. So today we're going to be talking to Nina and finding out how she is getting on, basically. So she's going to enter the room in a minute. So good morning, everyone. Like I said to you, I am talking today about health and wellness, how you're feeling, and I am talking to my really, really good friend, Nina Patel.
Hello.
Say hi, Nina.
How are you, darling?
Nina is a yoga instructor. She's also a hairdresser. She has her own salon at home, and she is in the health and wellness industry, does a bit of a side hustle like I do. And we are talking today as to how she's coping, really. How is lockdown affecting Nina? Like, it's affecting all of us. We're in week 10 of lockdown, and for me, I've not found it very difficult, really. I'm a cyclist, so I'm allowed to get out there and cycle, and I love it. My salon is shut. I'm a hairdresser as well, and I haven't got to think about anything. But not everybody's as lucky as me. Not everybody is finding this really, really easy. So today we're going to be finding out how Nina's coping with the situation. So Nina, fire away.
Well, at the beginning, I thought it was great. It was like a great big holiday, which, it's really, so being self-employed, let me just explain, is like we don't get any holidays. Every holiday that we take is kind of unpaid.
Yeah.
And so the holidays that we take are minimal. We wouldn't take this amount of time off. And I can't remember, even when I was at school, the most we had off was about 6 weeks. So we've not had this period of time. And when I had my son, I only had 8 weeks off. And then I was self-employed, had a salon, staff, had to go back to work. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly, yeah.
So initially, I was like, this is great. But then the money starts, running out. There's no more, payments coming in from the work that you've done. So then you start thinking, oh, right, it's kind of gets to you a little bit. So yeah, I think that's sort of, for me, was the hardest part, really.
Did you get any help from the government? A lot of us have had help.
Yes, so I got it only back end of last week. So up till then, I've not had any money. So yes, I did get some, but for all that sort of, it's been what, 10 weeks you're saying, aren't you? It's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a long time to do without money, and it's okay. Initially I'd got like people that like the gyms and stuff that I teach at, because they pay me a month in arrears. I was getting the payments. I was all right. The first probably 4 to 5 weeks, I was fine, and I've tried to pay my bills. I'm one of these people that likes to be on top of things. I don't like to think, oh, well, I'll pay it or I won't pay it. I want to pay it. I just feel I can sleep better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I know you are working from home at the moment, and I've been watching you on Facebook, and I just think you're amazing, because you get up and you do all these classes online, and people do join you, people do follow you. I think it's brilliant, and every day I say I'm going to get up and do it with Nina. But when you go to work, you normally on a time limit. You have to be at work for a certain time. And I'm just loving lying in bed, being a real lazy arse. And you are so positive in what you do. Do you think positive?
So my morning practice, sorry, I just stood. So my morning practice has been my saviour through whole of this isolation period. I had a morning practice beforehand. I sort of took it on live on Facebook to help people connect with, that they could do a little bit with me. So I'm not necessarily teaching, but sort of guiding them that they can actually sit and do anything they want to do. They can just sit, they can lie, but to just have that time to themselves. You know, I think it's really difficult because especially because we have been in such a busy, fast-paced sort of society, that all of a sudden it's all taken away from us. And this is kind of when we kind of feel things, you know. So that sort of taking a little time to be with yourself and even just be with the breath or move the body, you know. So the morning practice has been very much, I've been sharing them for the whole of the period whilst we've been in isolation. And then obviously I've been teaching as well, sometimes on Facebook Live, but on Zoom. So yeah, it's been a real journey, and it's been lovely. The feedbacks that I've had, people that join in, of how they've, you know, they thought they couldn't do it and they've been doing it, and how they love to just I think they wait for me to just get on it. Actually, it's like they'll email me or text me or send me a message, why weren't you on the other morning? And I was like, well, at the beginning I did 2 weeks, I think, and I didn't do for a week. And I said, well, I didn't think anybody was like really enjoying it. Oh no, we want it. So it kind of made me go on. So it's obviously got me out of my comfort zone of sharing my practice. So this big thing about yoga is, you know, judgment, what it looks like, you know, and it's not about what it looks like, it's about what it feels like internally. So we're all different, you know, our bodies are all different. It's not going to look the same. So the first thing to understand is it's what it feels like. Go with your feeling. Don't go with what somebody looks like, because that might not be right for you. It might not feel right, you know. So yeah, I was just trying to kind of bring that across, basically. That was my sort of thing. Was very much.
It's fantastic when you inspire people as well, and people are following what you're doing. I've been speaking to a lady this morning who lives in London, Lorraine, and she's in lockdown, and she's took out a bicycle, and she's been telling me this morning she hired a bike. Her husband has a bike, and she's seen my posts that I've been putting on.
Yay.
And went for a 6 kilometre bike ride for the first time. Okay. And she says it's down to my posts that I've been putting on Facebook. And I just think, I feel truly amazing that I'm helping people like that. And you must feel like that, Nina, as well.
But that's it, isn't it? It's about sharing what you have. It's not about keeping it for yourself, you know. So you're sharing your cycling, I'm sharing my yoga practice, and that's it. You know, basically it is about sharing, spreading the love and the wellness.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's about. And I think what you and I both do is very much about spreading, you know, spreading and giving, you know, the society, and anybody that wants it, we're there, aren't we, to help, basically.
Definitely.
And guide.
So with your yoga, do you need to keep on top of your nutrition?
Oh, absolutely. Do you know what? I mean, that's the thing. So I've been a yoga teacher for 7 years. And I started yoga later rather than, I was in my 40s when I started yoga. So it's about 15 years I've been doing yoga, but I've been teaching for 7 years. But even when I became a teacher, I had a lot of, because the older you are, your body sets in a way, doesn't it? You know, that stiffness and all of that stuff. Oh my God. And I used to be a runner, so running, you know, injuries and everything going on. So I'm sorry about that noise. That's my mum.
That's all right. Don't worry.
Well,
Don't worry about it. It's life.
doing the arti, which in Indian is like, you know, like lighting a candle and sort of to the, yeah. And she might start singing, so I apologise already. Oh my God.
That'd be awesome. So, Nina, you live with your mum.
I live with my mum, yeah.
Bless her.
Yeah, which has been, you know, so that's been a massive one. The living with my mum is okay.
Tell us about that.
So in isolation, that's been hard because you are confronted with somebody every day, all of the time. And she's 82 and she's very needy. Like she needs attention because she used to live with my brothers and she very much mollycoddled them. And it was that kind of relationship, whereas I left home when I was 18. So what I've taken on to do for her in the last 2 years is self-care for her, you know, helping her as she's getting older because they don't want to do it, which is fine. You know, I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but when you're working, you're out and about and stuff. Whereas like in isolation, and because I have to be even more careful, I don't want to bring something into the house, virus-wise, for her. So I am in the house a lot, in the garden and in the house, you know. So yeah, it's been very trying, you know, because we've never been very close or anything. And yeah, all the stuff that irritate you come up quite a lot. So I've had some low points. The last couple of weeks have been quite a low period for me.
How have you managed with that? How have you coped? What do you do to get yourself feeling better?
So yoga's the reason I started yoga. I wanted to do yoga from a very, because I had these anxiety problems and stuff from a very young age. I lost my dad when I was 14 and stuff. So I'd got issues and I knew that, and I think deep down I've always been spiritual. So I would sort of sit and chant and do things like this on my own anyway. But to actually do the yoga practice, when I've been into a class, I felt intimidated. So it took me a long time to get into a class to do that. And I knew that you've got to practice to, you know, because I was I couldn't even sit upright, Caroline, you know, like with your legs out. I couldn't keep I had no core strength. Yeah, but it soon comes though. It soon comes. So the yoga's helped me a lot. You know, if I didn't do the yoga, I think I'd be a lot worse. I've had friends like you being able to chat to, and that's really helped me. I've started reading a book which is really helping me, The Chimp Paradox, which is really making me understand about this other bit of the mind, the brain, part of the brain actually, how it goes on at you and makes you feel not so good about yourself, negativity and all of this. So it's an insecure part of your brain basically that's very domineering. It's called the chimp. Crazy monkey, obviously. So that's helping me to manage a lot of it. And I did have a session with a therapist last Friday as well, which again, you know, I'm not on a massive scale of depression, but I am sort of like on the just touching amber and just in amber. So I'm not in the red zone, but I recognize what is going on and I want to feel better in myself. So I'm just finding some coping mechanisms. And obviously I've got the nutrition, because the first thing he asked me was, do you eat well? And I said, well, you know, I have the best nutrition that you can possibly get. And that has helped me so much. But there's always other things that you have to do as well. It's not just one thing. You know, the nutrition helps me to clean up my gut, my digestive system. It feeds my bloodstream. So yeah, I feel great. And we were talking about, you know, like, yeah, it's helped me with my yoga in the last 3 years. I have come so far. I wish I'd done little videos of myself before that, because, you know, because people have said to me, oh my gosh, you know, people that I practice with, your practice has come along so much because my body has obviously got rid of the toxins and I'm able to move more freely with the breath. So it becomes more fluid rather than static and rigid. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm so, like, yeah, isogenics for me has been like the savior for my health, as well as my fitness, as well as, you know, my yoga. But my health has been massive, and also I feel so young. It's unbelievable. I mean, I'm 56 and I feel about in my 20s, you know. uh, yeah, you know, and I don't diet. I've never dieted, but
That's
I am.
isn't it? You don't necessarily have to think about what you put in your body, because you just do it.
Yeah, but it's got everything in it.
And have a
Yeah,
cream cake. It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
exactly. It's got everything in it, Caroline. And for me, is why wouldn't I put that in my body? And then I have other things as well. So, you know, I eat normally and I'll do a cleanse. But this week, let me tell you, today is my first day of an 11-day challenge that I'm doing with, there's 6 of us doing it. My mum's doing it as well. And I've got 4 other friends. And we're on 5 days of 2 shakes, balanced, like a 650 to 700 calorie meal, and no alcohol, no sort of cakes. I've been eating so much cake. I've been eating so much cake, Caroline. I have put on 8 pounds, 8 pounds in lockdown. I am not. Do you know what I mean? So that just shows you, doesn't it? Eating cakes and biscuits. So we're doing this 11 days, and then Saturday and Sunday we're going to do a deep cleanse, and then we've got 3 more days of shakes. And then I've taken some before photos this morning with just my little bra top and my shorts on, so you can see my belly and my little bit of, I've not got massive cellulite, I've got a little bit of cellulite on my belly. I want it to nicely go. Well, I'm going to see what happens. I'll let you know.
Yeah, so shall we catch up again when you've done this 11-day challenge?
Yeah, because I want to see what it does for my head as well. You know, like everything that I've been feeling. You know, I want to see.
Let us know how you're feeling after the challenge. So, how do you think life will be? What do you think life will be like after the lockdown, when we're all let out? Hi, Mama P. What do you think life will be like for you? Are you going to keep to the online yoga? Are you finding that it, works for you? Or are you going to go back to the gyms and do what you did before with your hairdressing as well?
So I'll still do my hairdressing, Caroline. The online yoga, I've been requested to keep some of the classes going, because everybody's going to go back to work, aren't they? So I think, you know, that's going to work in a different way, really good. And then I'll see about running around the house, running around the town with the gyms and stuff, really, because do I need to go in my car and do all of that stuff? You know, because actually, you know, I think the reason we have this brilliant weather is because we're not running about in our cars, you know, the pollution.
Yeah.
So, like, if I can help with that as well, that I don't have to run around everywhere, and I can do a bit through here and maybe do a bit out, but not as much as I was doing. It's great, isn't it?
It just makes you think differently, doesn't it, lockdown?
Made me really think about everything, you know, because I do feel we were all getting carried away without thinking about it. I think we were just it was like, you know, like a wave that we were just being carried away on, and then we've been brought back, haven't we? Sort of like back to basics, and think about everything before we do I need to actually take my car there, or can I wait and do it with something else together? Just stuff like that. It makes you very mindful, doesn't it?
Definitely. And it makes me wonder whether, I mean, there's loads and loads when I go out cycling, loads of people out on the roads. I hope they keep it up. Really do hope that life goes on like that, you know.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of cyclists, and it's great. You know, now you haven't got the abuse between, which there was a lot of abuse with the car and the cyclist before. So I'm hoping that everybody's like grateful to be able to have the roads to go on, the car people, and there's none of this sort of aggression going on between the two, because you know, I've seen a lot of cars getting aggressive with cyclists, and
and they can be quite naughty. I've been, obviously, before lockdown with people, and they've wound the window down and they've been swearing at us, and you know.
It's not right, is it? It's not right.
No.
Right. I mean, you know, you're not even polluting the air. Do you know what I mean? For God's sake. Sorry about that, but you're not, are you? Do you know what I mean? You're pretty much just cycling, enjoying the nature and the air, and you know, you're not polluting there. You're not actually polluting any air. Whereas, like, you know.
No.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Nina. Thank you for sharing.
It was lovely to chat to you, darling.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we can catch up again.
Yes, and yeah.
Okay.
All right, darling.